Hello and welcome to Evolutionary Creators, and as part of the program for Evolutionary Creators we are seeking ways to help support people find their passion and purpose in life so they can evolve their lifestyles around work that they love. And today I have with me Michael Day, who has 20 years experience of helping people find their passion and purpose in life. He's actually been helping famous people, stars, and he's also an astrologist, a psychic guide. And we also have with me John Paul Branham, who is also an evolutionary creator, who is otherwise known as the Conscious Chef, who's going to assist us today with speaking and interviewing Michael Day. So welcome Michael Day to Evolutionary Creators. And the first question I'd like to ask you, can you tell us a bit more about your gift as such, how you use your gift and talents to help support people find their purpose in life?
Yeah, certainly. So I'm working with personal magic, I'm working with the forces of growth and how people find their true purpose and passion in life. So I've spent 20 years working as a psychic. I've worked in the UK, Barbados, America. It's been a very powerful process for me to work with spirit in a conscious way as a catalyst for people's growth.
Yes.
Also, I work as a life coach. I have business clients, people in the PR world. It's a very fascinating business to be in, and it's always changing. It's always exciting. You know, no day is ever the same. So every day is full of magic. Nice,
yeah. And I'd like to part of this video is to actually explore the magic behind Michael Day. And I'd like to say, I'd like to talk about your personality behind the work you do. You know, what is it you love about helping other people find their passion and purpose in life? What actually gives you the feeling that I'm doing what I love in life, and this is what I'm contributing to the world? What's the feeling you have when you actually support people do that?
Well, a feeling is about being connected to a different dimension and linking that to people in the world and seeing real changes happen to people, like seeing people get the job they want, find their soulmate, to achieve fertility, to produce children, all the good things in life, and also people finding their spiritual pathway. Yes. And their passion. So it's great to have it come through you. I'm working with the 8th chakra, so it's kind of what's above me is coming through me, and it's a great feeling to be a channel, to allow yourself to be occupied by spiritual space. Yes. Then to give that to other people through your insights and through these very powerful experiences of spirit.
The part of the program Evolutionary Creators is help people package all of their gifts and talents into almost like a box where they can keep expanding and using to help others. And I think the question I have for you, for people who are seeking their path to actually expand their talents in a way that's contributing to the world, it's helping others. What advice could you give to people who are seeking that start, that moment in life where they're opening up an opportunity to use their talents to help others? What advice could you give to them?
My main advice is to find a system that works for you. Yes. And find a philosophy that is positive.
Positive.
There's lots of suffering in the world. Your job is to create happiness. So I've learnt a lot through A Course in Miracles and through Psychology of Vision, which uses that book, a book channeled from Jesus. Okay, but it's a very powerful psychology of forgiveness and personal success. Yes. Okay, and finding your path in life through your heart. So whatever technique that you use, make sure you've got the right psychology to start with that really inspires you. That you're being a real stand for people and you're standing for results and happiness in the face of people's concerns and doubts and fears. Because your job is to be a stand for their higher self. Yes. Yeah. But you must have something which you believe in first, that can inspire you to speak into their greatness, not into their weakness.
Yes, yes. Yeah. That's great to hear. And I'd like to ask you the question, how did you discover that you had the gift of intuition?
Well, I've always had this sort of link to like the Fey world, the elemental kingdom, to the world of poetry and dreams. Started about 22 years ago. I learned a few techniques that have really helped me to become psychic and to get information for people. I learned about astrology. I learned about psychic art, which is about receiving images. Like with my eyes closed, I just draw things on paper automatically. I'm getting information there. I've learned to use my dreams. So I found my own package. And about 20 odd years ago, I had my first little spot in Peckham Market on a little market stall. My first ever public session. It was such a big moment for me. You know, very humble start, but that changed my life. So those little moments of breakthrough. And after that, I sort of moved on to working in a nightclub in Leicester Square called the Brain Club, the first ever New Age nightclub in London. And from there I met lots of contacts and people. I went to Barbados, had an amazing time there, because spirit is really powerful in these tropical locations. That really was a great education for me. So I spent 20 years being in people's magic, working with their magic. And my job is to be a catalyst, to speed things up. You know, we can all be those magical catalysts for other people through any technique of healing. But my gift is speech, it's second sight, it's seeing the future. And recently I've become more of a life coach, but in the end it's the same gift of allowing magic to come through speech to really empower people. And I'm only happy if I see results.
And something else that just came up for me as well, through our discussions earlier, before we start recording, is people's creative flow, for example, where we was talking about the ability to actually love the journey of creation. You know, I thought it was a really interesting subject, because the idea of the evolutionary creators are for people actually to start learning to love the journey of their creation, or what they like to bring into their lives, the work they love to do and how they're contributing. And I feel strongly, and I'm sure you do as well, that it's the journey that's the most important part of the evolution for themselves. And I feel that, you know, what sort of further insight can you add on to that?
Well, there's a path which you tread in your 20s and 30s that goes through kind of relationships, goes through kind of questing for spiritual truth, and that will give you a strong platform for your teaching work in the future. I mean, same for me. I've been exploring many years through different pathways, spiritual teachings, relationships. You know, what was my gift? What was my true calling? My true vocation? And many pathways out there. But in the end, you have to find your magic and your unique gift. Otherwise, you can't really be happy. You can't use somebody else's results. You've got to find your own power and your own pathway and your own gift. And once you find that, life gets very exciting and juicy. Of course, you know, I have my own needs and concerns, but in the end I find my greatness through being a stand for people and the planet. And my desire is to pass on techniques, certain insights into human evolution that will change the world, that will become immortal. And that maybe is the desire of every teacher and healer, is to add something to that body of wisdom which makes the world a better place.
And if you've got...
I was going to add, actually, as I've continued on my spiritual journey, well, me and Michael have crossed paths several times. I'd mostly like to ask, have the workshops and events you've been to over the years, have they really attributed it to a lot of the work you do for other people?
Absolutely. Well, every workshop which you go to or teacher, they can lift you to their state of consciousness.
Yes.
Okay, what happens is that becomes registered in your aura as a permanent fixture. Because we can't always be in that elevated state, but that echo will always be inside you. So I've been to some great spiritual teachers, Amma, Mother Mira. I've been on some great workshops, Psychology of Vision, A Course in Miracles. That's lifted me to a very powerful divine heart space. And I can't ever really forget that. That's part of my being now.
Yes.
And that kind of gets absorbed through osmosis. And it also is what I can transmit to other people. Now, it's great if I'm doing it consciously, but even if I'm just being myself, some of that energy is going to be emerging. Okay, so we all become beacons for each other.
Yes.
But when a person is like employing you or paying you, there's a certain soul contract to both work towards a result in that session. So that is more powerful. But just in terms of energy, we're all catalysts for each other all the time. Our workshops help you to get more focused on those higher powers that are always helping us to be more magical, more creative.
Yes, I mean, just listening to your journey again, I feel very strongly that you've evolved your lifestyle around what you believe in. In terms of you've gone to workshops that resonate, of the idea that you like to evolve, learn, create as such, meeting people, socialising. I don't understand you travel the world as well.
Yes.
So you're constantly connecting your lifestyle to what you believe in and who you are. It's like you're evolving everything. And I'm living this now. This is me. This is who I am, and I'm living this every moment in any way possible to keep moving and evolving that.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm hearing from your journey as such. And I think that's a vital point to actually make clear, is that when we discover ourselves, and we follow a path that we know that resonates to us, and it allows us to express who we are and expand her talents in a way that helps contribute to the world. The good idea is to place ourselves in workshops with people, environments, any opportunity that helps us build that vision together. And I think, again and again, the more I'm talking to people about, like yourself, who are already on that path of that journey, you're living that, you're experiencing that every day, the same applies, is that we need to build the life structures that support that, and that's what you've very much done. I mean, I see your Facebook messages quite often, and I see the passion you place on what you've done on the day. And I say, this is Michael, this is what he does, and this is what he loves, and for example. And it's inspiring, because it's you, and you're just doing what you believe in.
Yes.
And I think that's I just want to highlight that as an important aspect that I find when I speak to people like yourself.
Yeah.
It's
just something I was going to ask actually. For anybody who's starting out on their journey as an evolutionary creator, or even somebody on a spiritual path, would you have any words of inspiration or wisdom to give them?
Well, you have to find what is your bias. You have to find what is your direction, okay? Because each person has their own gift and their own magic. And there are 3 different levels on the spiritual path.
Yes.
There's the Gnostic, the Shamanic, and the Tantric. Let me explain. Tantric means relationships. It can become romantic, it can be platonic. It's what you engage with. It's so important that you learn from those relationships who you are. Okay? That you grow from each relationship. You create love lines to people. You draw energy from who you encounter. And some people are very much relationship focused. That's a great pathway to go on. Then we have the path of the shaman. That's to do with the forces of nature. That's to do with finding magic. It's to do with finding the special powers and gifts which you have. Okay, that's the path of going into the woods, finding yourself, being a warrior, being courageous in life and travelling. Then there's what I call the Gnostic path, which is about direct insight into the heavenly planes, direct insights into oneness, transcendence, things that are beyond words. But once you had those events, you know the truth about life. And some people are more focused in that direction to do with meditation and being in oneself. So you'll find your own pathway, and every path is valuable. There's no kind of difference. It's just a different bias, a different emphasis. You must follow your heart. You have to, in the end, create your own wisdom. You can learn from people, but you have to be courageous to follow your instinct. You can't fit some second-hand philosophy. You have to be radical to be yourself. Yeah, it's about really finding your path of magic. Also, who are your heroes? And what are your dreams and fantasies from your early life? Like, when I was very young, I always wanted to be linked to the royal family, which sounds bizarre, okay, but that's always been my vision. And now, in my work now, I have clients who work directly with the royal families of Europe, so I get to access that world. It's kind of like my own desire has manifested in who I serve. And I always loved the heroes of clairvoyance and spiritualism. Like, I loved Nostradamus from a very early age. I thought I'd love to be him. And then, one day I ended up in a TV studio like this for Channel 4, and they're doing some sort of big film about Nostradamus. And I saw myself on primetime TV, me next to Nostradamus, speaking his prophecies to a primetime audience. Now, those moments are pure gold, because all your desires will come true at some stage in your life. Okay, so be very clear what your real desires are. That is your gold. Who are your heroes? What's your deepest fantasy, your deepest desire? That's more important than trying to fit in to what the world wants for you. Because the world lives on a basis of compromise. It has to, but you have to be ruthless. What do I desire? What is my dream for the world?
It's about finding that inspiration, that like you said, heroes that sort of make us feel like, oh yes, I love the qualities of that person, I love the characteristics, their vision and mission, and finding inspiration and connecting to people who inspire you as well. And I'd like to, you actually coach stars, famous people, to help find their purpose. Can you give us a bit more of an insight on what you do with that?
Well, I can't really say who these people are,
of course.
But I've had some very powerful clients. Now, in terms of people are trying to find their star potential, and I have like actors and artists come to see me, and some make it big, and some stay on the second level. And listen, they're all great people, they're all valuable, but what's the secret of success? Okay, now what I have worked out for myself is that people who really make it in the media and acting and the arts world, people who really make it have tapped into their psychic potential. Because being in the media, you're being someone for thousands, if not millions of people. You're being a beacon. Your image is important. That's a psychic projection of your soul to the world. Okay, so you have to have very strong self-belief, but also a very powerful connection to spirit and a very powerful link. My job is to be a catalyst for that link between inner and outer. So that word glamour, in fact, glamour is an ancient spiritual term for the power of the aura to be projected outwards as charisma. You know, people want to watch you, people want to be around you, people want to put you in films. This is a spiritual power, and you can use that in a very gracious way. And you can be consumed by it, and we know that there are casualties on the path. So you must always stay grounded, have friends around you, have love in your life. But the trick is to find your magic and to use it wisely, and ultimately to use it for the purposes of evolution.
Michael, it's been a pleasure always meeting you along the spiritual path, and you're somewhat of a personal icon for me.
Oh.
Just one small question to
Sure.
ask before we finish. On that subject, who would you call your inspiration?
Well, I like the heroes of the spiritual path. So, you know, Jesus, Buddha, Nostradamus, people who have really taken a risk. Also, I love to be around magical people. I recall when I was 6 years old, I saw this program on TV called Ace of Wands, about a magician, and I thought, I want to be that person one day. And now I'm living that magical life.
Yes.
So I love the icons, you know, both real and imaginary, of magic, of love, and of mystery, because life is a wonderful mystery, and it's about bringing that richness back to life.
Yes, yeah. And it's amazing, sometimes we need that moment of inspiration and that decision to go for it and keep with that. That allows us to create what we love. And thank you for watching our video interview with Michael Day, John Paul Brown and myself, Paul Grout. And if you'd like to find out more about Michael's work with one-to-one sessions on psychic intuition, which helps people to find their purpose, almost their direction, it really helps them give an insight on how they can pursue a path they love. Just look below the video for more information, so you can learn more about Michael and connect to his unique gifts and services to the world as such. So thank you again, Michael, for everything you've done for us. And thank you for watching the video, and we wish you all the success of your creative life journey. Thank you.